Le Clubs is with internationally acclaimed Australian painter Johnny Romeo. How are you today?
How are you going?
I'm pretty good. Now, to start things off, your work has been described as part punk, part pop, but how do you describe it?
Yeah, my work's a combination. It's pop. It's a combination of urban street culture, street art. There's also the pop element, is evident in the work as well. There's neo-expressionists in the work. It's painted, so it's very painterly. So it's a combination of quite a few things. Yeah, graffiti as well. So.
Can you also tell us a little bit about your art practice? So from conception to your execution.
Because I travel quite a bit, and because I show in a lot of different cities, I usually am always thinking about shows that kind of can translate themselves in many different places, and so with this particular show, Deadwood, this show was kind of conceived in LA, and a lot of the time that I spend there looking at the kind of icons and imagery and pop culture and branding and advertising, and I thought this would be really a cool show to kind of show in Australia.
Tell me a little bit about then the inspirations and influences for your exhibition of Deadwood.
Okay, so this particular show is based on dead Hollywood stars, and the conception of the show was I was walking one evening, along Hollywood Boulevard, and obviously the whole idea of being in LA and the stars and the tourists that come out to get a part, to get a feel for the film culture of Los Angeles, and I kind of thought that would be a really cool idea, particularly with the tours that take place on a regular basis in LA, where people want to see movie star homes or dead Hollywood shows or dead Hollywood homes. People really loved Audrey Hepburn, Audrey Hepburn, Jimmy Dean.
The really weighted pop icons.
And I just thought, that could be a really cool show, and it would be a way of almost regurgitating pop culture. And we have, as people, a celebrity obsession and a celebrity fetish, and it kind of fits in perfectly to the way I work and the way I think about pop culture, and I just thought that would be a really interesting show.
How important is audience to your work?
Yeah, super important. I mean, as I said, being a pop painter, my work is predominantly about pop culture, and we as people are immersed in pop culture, and therefore I like to kind of give back images to people as if I was TV, as if I was the medium of television, and I think it kind of works, because the way I see my particular art practice and my art mentality is that I believe that we construct our identities from the brands we wear and the television we watch and the celebrities we admire, and if my work represents that, then it serves the same purpose as pop culture, and people love pop culture. This is an interesting work because I spoke to you about pop culture regurgitating itself, and this particular work is interesting in the sense that this Michael Jackson is the Michael from Jeffrey Koons' porcelain sculpture of Michael and Bubbles. So I've actually drawn from that sculpture. I've given it a stencil feel, like they all have graffiti kind of stencil art, although this is all oil stick, so everything's drawn. So this is Michael Jackson, Jeff Koons' Michael, and it's interesting because then I paid homage to Puppy Dog and Jeff Koons' floral sculpture. So the work has been inspired not only by Michael but by Jeff Koons' Michael and Bubbles,
Absolutely.
And so you've got to kind of see the work with that in mind as well, because there's a few subtle pop references in the work,
Also, how about your childhood? Was there any experiences or, what did you grow up watching? Have they impacted on your art practice as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this like a lot of times that I I kind of grew up in front of TV, you know, like most kids do, you know. And for me, watching the Brady Bunch was cool, you know. Like I really wanted to be part of that family, you know. So a lot of those images of my childhood, you know, I brought into my work, you know. It's funny because pop culture has this way of making us feel really good, you know. Like I'm never alone when I'm in a shopping centre, you know. I always feel part of something that's bigger, you know, than me, you know. And when I look at magazines, I feel part of, you know, of a bigger world, you know. And it was the same when I was a kid. When I was a kid watching TV, I've always thought that I was connected into this pop culture, colourful, glamorous kind of world that I just wanted to be part of, but also really wanted to paint as well. And it's just sort of worked out really coolly, you know. So, you know, this is obviously the most famous image of Heath Ledger, and it's also really a dark image as well. So I've brought in the black tones to really create that that idea of drama in the work, you know. You've got the reference to Two Hands, the movie Two Hands. Again, pop culture regurgitating itself here, you know. But this is number two hands, you know. I think it's an iconic image of Heath Ledger in probably his most darkest kind of pose, you know. And you've got Dark Schmite, which is not Dark Knight, but Dark Schmite.